This piece of string and this super glue is going to help make a more rugged sheath on this custom-made cable where I just put a connector on here, and after soldering the wires, I put heat shrink tubing to help insulate the wires in case they try to touch. And I have another piece of heat shrink to try to put as far as I can up here to help hold things together even more. So I will apply heat to this now. I still want this to be more rugged. So if I use super glue on a connector like this, it could get back into the pins and block the connection points. So I took a section of electrical tape and just cut a thin sliver, and I'm going to put it around the connector to just try to seal off where those wire connections meet the plastic housing and try to minimize super glue easily going up in the connector. So when I'm working with this, I'm going to keep the connector upright when I'm applying glue. So I cut 20 inches of string, and what I'm going to do is just leave some hanging out. So I've got the string coming down where I want it to reach, and then I'm just going to double it back and hold it. So we just have a loop here. Then I'm going to take this longer section and wrap it around down this way. So I'm going to start it up where the electrical tape was on this housing, and then start going downward along the cable. There's how the first few turns look. So I have this loop. There's that short free end sticking out, and I'm just going to continue wrapping this. When I reach the far end, I'm going to feed it through the loop and pull it, then pull on the other free end, which is now running underneath this wrap, and it'll pull this tight. So now I'm just going to cut those loose ends off, and it's self-contained. And now, holding this upright, I'm just going to apply super glue. I'm just going to go a little at a time, and I'm not going to touch the string because I don't want it to interact and bond. And when you're using super glue with things like this, including baking soda, you'll get an exothermic reaction. So this may get hot. You may even see some fumes coming off of it momentarily. So you just go slow, and I'll just put a little around the bottom where it meets with the rest of the cable. And after about 10 minutes, the tackiness is gone. And this is a relatively rigid string relief now, bridging the gap between the cable and the actual connector housing, making it more rugged, easier to plug in and remove, and provide some amount of strain relief.